So Guy, do you know what this weekend is?
Absolutely! It's Avengers weekend where we finally get to see the superhero movie that Marvel fans have been waiting decades for.
Avengers is definitely one of the most exciting superhero movies in a long while. But it got me to thinking, which Avenger do you think was not included in the movie, but should have been?
Well, I like Janet, the Wasp.
The Wasp.
Yes, the one with the wings.
The one that shrinks.
Yes, and when I was a kid, I was watching this animation, the Marvel, and I saw her.
Oh, you saw her?
Yes.
Well, for me, it's definitely Dr. Henry Pym. Dr. Henry Pym was actually one of the founders
Oh, really?
of the Avengers, the original Avengers. And he has some problems, some mental problems. He had an inferiority complex, and he also had this kind of schizophrenia or multiple personality, something, where he couldn't really identify which character he was. So he had several personas. He was Goliath, he was the Ant-Man, he was Yellow Jacket, so he had a lot of different things. He couldn't really settle on who he was. So it's one of those characters that I think should have been included in the movie. Well, anyway, let's get ready, because we're going to have our special Avengers episode right after this. Avengers Assemble! Welcome back to the Cosplay Show. Today, we are having our special Avengers episode where we delve into the Avengers lore as well as explore how Avenger costumes are made. With us today is Miss Isabel Cortez, one of the founders of Avengers Philippines.
Avengers Club! Yay!
Hello. Hi guys.
Now, Isabel, in the upcoming Avengers movie, we all know that Loki will be the main villain. Wow, Loki!
Yeah.
But let's just say there's this Avengers Part 2. What villain would you
Which
like?
would definitely have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, what if, what villain would you like to see?
For me, I think it's going to be the Scrubs because they're one of the most difficult villains the Avengers team have faced. With all the conspiracy, infiltration within the team, and then they're shape-shifting.
So that's their power.
Yes.
Yes, they infiltrate teams and destroy them from inside.
Are they aliens?
Yes.
Yes, they're aliens.
Wow.
For me, I really like Thanos. Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet and everything. I think he makes a really, really intimidating opponent.
Oh.
And he's one of those villains that you really cannot be defeated by just one superhero. You have to have the Earth's mightiest heroes together to be able to defeat somebody like that.
Well, for me, I like to see Ultimo fight the Avengers. Because I saw the comic with Iron Man and this other guys fighting Ultimo. Well, I like to see they fight Ultimo.
Well, you know what? Besides Maria Hill and Black Widow, most of the Avengers are actually guys. There are not a lot of female Avengers. Well, if they ever have a sequel to the Avengers, which female Avenger would you like to see in that movie?
Of course, Miss Marvel.
Wow.
She was I also cosplayed her, and Miss Marvel has became a leader of the Avengers.
This is Carol Danvers, right?
Yes, Miss Carol Danvers. And there was a teaser pic that came out in the internet, and everybody speculating that it's Carol Danvers. So most likely, hopefully, we get to see her in the next movie.
Now we have some pictures here.
Yes, we have some images of the Avengers
We'd like to see a
Philippines.
brief history of Avengers Philippines, the group, and we'd like to know the characters in that group.
Oh, here's the group right here.
Oh, there's Loki.
Yes, there's
Yes.
Loki.
So how many members do you have?
Well, basically we started out because we're one of the few cosplayers that were cosplaying Western characters, and then ever since that the movies came out, care of Marvel, So everybody's hyped into the Western character
Yeah.
cosplay.
Every time there's a con or an event, there are many anime cosplayers, but there are only a few comic characters.
Yeah.
Few Western,
characters.
Western.
Yeah, a few westerns. So we decided to form a group. So and then since the movie is coming out, which is also a combination of all the characters, individual characters that came out, so it's only the best thing to do. So we formed the Avengers. So as for the members, we all know that Iron Man is Don Robert,
Okay.
Right there in the center.
the one and only. Then we have Captain America. He's cosplayed by Chester Castro.
Okay.
And then we also have the Wasp, one of the in the comic book. She's one of the founding members of the Avengers. So she's cosplayed by M. De Los Santos. And then we have Nick Fury by Arnell. And then we have Loki. And then we have Hawkeye, Jojo, Triggerman. And then we have Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner is the
Chell
Hulk.
Castro.
The
The Hulk.
The Hulk.
The
In
shy
her
Hulk.
normal, in his normal form.
That's the normal. Now you're jumping for
We're jumping
joy.
for
joy.
Because there's a coming movie.
Yes.
There's a reason to jump for joy. Oh, this is a very interesting photo.
This is a nice illusion because the way it's set up, makes it look like the Wasp is really really small
Yes.
and Giant Man is really really big. So it's a nice perspective shot.
Which is actually their powers because Wasp can really shrink her size and then
Oh, okay.
Giant Man can really, go that big.
That's why I call it giant.
So we have here, we have Thor, played by Ryan Simbol. And again, we have Wasp, Giant Man, Iron Man, and then Captain.
And Giant Man is really tall.
Yes,
Yes.
he's like
Wow.
6 feet tall, so
Really?
he really fits the character.
But the Giant Man and Wasp eventually they get married in the comic book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at the costumes.
That's
He looks
Wow.
like a toy,
Yes.
Hot Toys or something.
Yes. Wow. And look, there's Isabella as Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yeah,
There's
Captain.
Captain.
Oh, what's the venue? What venue did you use for this?
This was taken last February. I think in Mega Mall.
Okay. So this is one of the stores that are closed right
And
now.
look, Nick Fury
So
has
you
a
That's
said-
one of the mega trade halls.
Oh, okay, that's closed.
Nick
And this
Fury.
is Nick Fury, the comic version.
Okay.
He doesn't want to shave his head, so
Okay. But in the movie, Nick Fury is
played by Samuel Jackson.
Yes.
Yes, and I think he has a beard and he doesn't have much hair and he's a lot darker.
This is more of the comic version.
okay.
Then we have Thor.
This Christian.
This is Christian Tapusin. And again, Wasp.
Wow. Oh,
War
looks-
Machine.
War Machine.
Yes. He's
War
also
Machine.
part of the Avengers, but more of on the secret Avengers.
Oh, so there's this secret characters in Avengers.
Sort of.
Okay.
There are other characters like they have Mockingbird, and then I know Hawkeye is also part of that.
Okay.
So they're like reserve characters.
Not exactly. They have their own story.
Oh, okay.
Or
So it's like the West Coast Avengers. They have like
Yeah.
their own group.
they were called the Secret Avengers.
Yeah, there's this West Coast, East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh look,
Then this is Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. You should be playing the Hulk.
Why?
He's always angry. Sorry,
No, his
Jojo.
caps lock is just stuck on his keyboard.
Yeah.
But
That's all
Jojo is
it
a good cosplayer.
Yeah.
I like the guy.
Is,
Hey,
is this Jojo also?
Okay, that's the Hulk.
So this is our Hulk. So it's still a work in progress.
Now, who made that costume? I like that.
This is made by Noel Cathy,
Oh.
the famous humanoid cosplayer maker. He's very good at making costumes like that in the humanoid form. So
Oh wait. What material did Noel use?
Yeah, what material? I'm curious to see what material they used to create that.
Looks like a cement or something. It's really look
he
great.
used rubber, molded it,
Oh, okay.
molded rubber, and then covered it with leather. And then afterwards, they're going to airbrush it for the details.
Ooh,
And
okay.
then he sees through the mouth.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like
So
really-
you don't look through the eyes, you look through the mouth. So the whole time he has his mouth open.
Yes.
Okay, now there we have a video of the Avengers group during the Cosplay Mania last year. And let's see.
This is, I think, the presentation of the community awards.
Yes. And I saw pirates. There's the pilot. Wow, grand entrance. Wow,
Wow,
good
who's
looking
that?
guy. That's a very good looking guy, man. Look at that.
What
Ooh.
happened? Is that supposed to be Nick Fury?
That's the oldest Nick Fury I know.
That's the oldest Nick Fury.
Yes. And we have War Machine.
War Machine. By Christian O'Malley.
Oh, that's Christian. And there's Thor
There's Thor.
taking off his helmet. And whoa, very
that?
sexy.
Wow.
Wow, look.
Tony
Tony
Stark.
Stark.
That's the, I think that's from the second movie.
Yeah, that's
right?
that's
The
the
costume?
Monaco suit
Okay.
where he fought Whiplash.
Yes.
Wow. Well, look at
This is
that.
before he got beat up by Whiplash, I guess.
And we have Jack Sparrow. Wow, and you have, well, during this Cosplay Mania, you have a. we're
There's the
only-
suitcase, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
there's
the
a
suitcase.
suitcase.
Oh.
And they're giving this, that's
Visor.
the recognition.
Yes, it's the plaque of recognition
Okay.
from Cosplay Mania to the group. And it's for recognition for their community and
Yes.
their contributions to cosplay here in the Philippines.
Yes. It's really great to have this group.
Well, how do they find out more about Avengers Philippines? Let's say they want to join or they want to know more about your group. How do they find out more?
Well, they could search us through Facebook. You just type Avengers Philippines or Cosplay Heroes, and then, or they can attend cons, and we're normally there. So, especially now that the movie's coming out, so we're like
Well, how,
100% visibility.
well, can you tell us about you specifically? How did you start becoming a fan of the Avengers? And which Avenger do you identify with? Is it the Black Widow or is it another character? Because I know you did Miss Marvel also.
Yes, I also did Miss Marvel. Well, I've always been a comic book fan. I grew up with comics, I grew up with computer games, and then before, comic books were like 3, 4, 10 pesos.
Wow.
My uncle has to own a lot of comic books, and then whenever I go to...
So how much were they when you were a kid?
50 cents.
50 cents.
Okay, that's very expensive during that time.
Oh, during that time.
50
so-
centavos as in.
Yes, 50 cents. 50 centavos.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's imported. During that time, there were no local prints, so you have to order it.
Yun. So whenever I go home, vacationing to my in my grandmom, I would always go straight to my uncle's room and then read lots of
Oh.
comics. So I was really exposed. So I grew up in Spider-Man, knowing some of their stories like that. And then basically, if you're going to ask me which character I've identified myself most, probably Pepper Potts.
The secretary.
Yeah,
Oh, but she has her
Actually,
own
that-
Iron Man suit also
Yes,
later.
yes.
actually
That-
that's yes.
Yes. She has a pink Iron Man.
No, it's still red. It's still red and silver.
In the movie, it was played by.
Miss Gwyneth.
Yes.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, basically you get to get attached to a lot of characters. You get to associate yourself with a lot of characters and then combine them all. So it's not just about Pepper Potts or Black Widow or Miss Marvel, because I like all of them. So
Okay.
there's certain personalities that fit me in those characters.
Now, I like to ask about their costumes. So, I'd like to ask which of the Avengers costume is the most difficult to make?
To me, probably Iron Man.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yes, because you really have to study how he looks like, and then the material is more on rubber.
Yes, yes,
So
but-
most of the characters.
And I think it's also because he has so many different iterations of Iron Man. There's so many. There's like Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 52, Mark 53.
the rescue suit is Mark 1616.
See, that's like 1,000.
It's like
But one thing extremist armor.
One thing I like about the Don Roberts Iron Man costume is the paint job. It's really, really shiny. It's all red, gold. It's really fantastic.
Yes, I heard he waxes it every day.
wax in, wax out, wax in, wax out. So,
Well, I heard your group was recognized in Stan Lee's
Oh.
website. Can you tell us how that happened and what your experiences are?
Oh, wait. You're telling me Stan Lee himself?
Yes, Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, the big guy
Yeah.
of
Yeah, the big
Marvel.
guy
Yes.
of Marvel.
Oh, okay.
The main man of Marvel.
No, actually, we just our pictures just ended up there as a part of his fan
Okay.
artwork, because he has this website, he has this page where fans can submit or pass artworks, and then since cosplay has been like a growing going mainstream already, or
Okay.
people are like knowing about cosplay, and then a lot of people are cosplaying Marvel characters. So it's part of the artwork, so fan artwork. So we just ended up there. So it's like
Did Stanley say something?
no, not really. But we did end up in Stanley's page. So
Did you talk to anybody from Marvel?
before we got invited with this launch, I think it's a seminar. It's a launch actually, because Disney bought Marvel.
Yes.
So there was this presentation, and then we got invited, and then we got to meet Simon Phillips, who is the president of Marvel International.
Okay.
So he got to see him, Don Robert as Iron Man, and me as Miss Marvel. So, and then he introduced us as fans, and then he said that these are what fans do. So actually what he said to the audience is, I like to present to you how fans love Marvel. So
Actually, that whole Disney acquiring Marvel, does it worry you that maybe sometime down the line you're gonna have an Iron Man Mickey?
no, not really, because
You don't think-
Marvel
because
is
like
still Marvel.
you had Kingdom Hearts, which is basically you took characters from Final Fantasy and you combine them with maybe down the line you'll see Donald Duck as Captain America.
Well, I know there's a lot of artworks on the internet that you could search with stuff like
Okay.
that. you know how fans are creative, and then they make these artworks that are like combination of everything. So
But is it something that you like?
it's okay.
Well, I like to see Thor as Goofy.
Thor is Goofy.
Well, probably they're going to make a rip-off of the Marvel and then turn the Disney characters into Marvel, like an episode, which is going to be fun.
Okay, I
It's
like
like incorporating both worlds in
Yes.
one show.
Okay. Now let's talk about cosplaying. Filipino cosplayers compared with other countries, are we better or?
Well, I wouldn't say really better, but I think we're at par.
Okay.
So we can level. I mean, we can, we're at that. We can compete with international
What-
cosplayers.
Well, if we're talking about that, what countries do you see as being around our level of technology?
making costumes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Making costumes.
Well, depending on the resources, but probably the US.
US.
Well, the US, they have different materials there. They use different materials. Like if the more popular materials are like fiberglass,
Mm.
and then it's because it's much more available there. So in the Philippines, it's rubber because it's much more available here. But if we do fiberglass here, we could also do fiberglass here, but it's going to be expensive. Like in the US, they can also do rubber there, but they have to import rubber, which is going to be expensive on their part. So
But-
there's this pros and cons.
Okay, but I heard some of guys in the US are ordering costumes, Iron costumes in your group.
Yeah. There's a couple of people who had commissioned suits.
So it means
So we had the pleasure or the opportunity to share our talents with other people, and to market that the Philippine cosplayers can also do this.
Well, let's go back to the movie. Joss Whedon, he's the writer and director of the Avengers movie. He's also the creator of Buffy the Vampire
Buffy
Slayer.
the Vampire
Yeah,
Slayer.
Angel, Dollhouse, and of course my personal favorite, that's Firefly, with the movie Serenity, of course. How do you think his background will affect the Avengers movie? How do you think his take on it will change the Avengers movie?
Well, I'm not really familiar with the other shows, but I only know of Angel and then Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But with their success, I know they've been a successful TV series, correct? So I guess it would really, not really affect, but it would probably emulate with the Avengers movie. So with all the hype, with all the excitement going about, with all the teaser videos coming out, everybody's like hyped up. So the expectations are really high, which I think they will be able to meet.
So he's Joss Whedon is the man for the Avengers movie.
Until we see the movie, he's the man.
Well, usually superhero teams, they have like an overlying theme. Like for instance, for the X-Men, it's about prejudice against the mutant race.
Mhm.
You know, with Spider-Man, it's about how with great power there's great responsibility. What do you think the overlying theme of is the Avengers of the Avengers? You know, what overlying theme of the Avengers is there?
Probably teamwork. Because you have this different characters with different personalities, with different, what you call this, disorders, personality disorders.
Personal problems.
Yeah, so it's like you put different types of things in one bottle, and then you expect them to work together
Okay.
to do something coherent with each other. So I think the underlying theme of Avengers is really teamwork. How you get along with each other despite your differences.
So it's like basically trying to form a group, international group with different backgrounds, different
Yes.
personalities, and trying to see how they can get along.
Yes, how you try to understand each other and
I think,
then
I think Avengers, one of the most interesting things is how they interact with each other. 'Cause I really like, you know, those scenes with Captain America and Tony Stark
Yeah.
talking to each other.
because they're like so both full of themselves, and then they get to meet
Yeah.
and they're like clashing personalities, diba? And then so that's basically the underlying theme between with the battle cry of Avengers, which is Avengers Assemble.
Okay,
So-
now I'd like to ask, in your opinion, who should be the team captain of Avengers? Is it Captain America, Iron Man, that's Tony Stark, or the guy with the anger management,
Anger
Bruce Banner, the Hulk?
So Hulk has anger management.
Yeah.
Tony Stark has what drinking
problem.
and then Captain America.
Captain America has.
Time lapse. Like
I think
Retro.
he has. He has problems adjusting to
to
the place.
the age.
Yeah, so they all have their issues.
Yeah, he personally.
The-
Of course, Nick Fury can't be the leader of
Yes.
Avengers because he's actually the leader of
okay,
Shield.
okay.
Yeah.
So he's out of it. So which of those, shall we say, slightly dysfunctional people,
Yes.
do you think deserves to be the leader of the?
I think they all had a shot of being a leader of the Avengers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think everybody had.
But I
a
think
shot.
Hulk
Except
really
Hulk.
had problems.
Except Hulk, because he leaves the group every now and then,
Yeah.
and then comes back.
You don't wanna anger the boss.
Yeah, you don't want to miss Hulk.
And then
Actually, they all have their problems. Like Thor, he has illusions of grandeur. He thinks he's a god. So he's a megalomaniac.
But in reality, it's really a problem to have these different kinds of people, different kinds of personalities. So it's really a challenge to form them and to make a group that really works together.
Yes.
I think that's what makes it more endearing to the public, because you associate yourself with a
Yes.
certain character because you've experienced the same thing, you've seen the same thing, so more or less that's why we are cosplayers then. We like these certain characters because we see ourselves in them, so basically that's it.
Well, thank you once again, Isabel, for being our guest for today's show. Is there anything else you'd like to tell them? Maybe how they can reach the Avengers if they're in trouble?
Or if you want to join the Avengers.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me here, and these guys, you're the man. Well, you could always. Well, I would like to invite everyone to watch the Avengers. Uy, movie namin.
That will be on Saturday.
It's coming out on April 25.
Okay.
So better watch out. There are a couple of cinemas that are like selling pre-advance tickets already. And we actually have a movie. We have a movie.
You have a movie?
Yeah.
Can we see that movie?
Really?
Can we take a look at the movie?
Yes.
Do you have a free ticket for that?
Oh
Free
yeah,
ticket for
sure,
that.
free tickets.
Free ticket for that movie.
Where's
Free
it?
ticket. Free ticket.
Ta-da!
Oh, it's the
Avengers
yeah,
Live
a horror.
One.
Is that a horror movie?
No, that's the movie where they couldn't afford any more actors.
Yeah.
There's one actor.
Everything
and they
is
put
there.
Everything there.
That's
So you have your bida, and then you have your billings all in one.
He must be the person with the biggest split personality problem. He would be like, I will defeat you. Pow!
No, look at that. He's wearing the villain costume and he's wearing the superhero costume. So
Yes.
how does he fight?
He
He
fights
fights
himself.
Like
He goes,
that.
"Ow!"
Actually, in this picture, he was promoting himself.
Okay.
He was promoting the movie, so he was like roaming Mega Mall.
Also, Mega Mall couldn't afford, 5 actors, so they got one
So
guy.
he's promoting his movie by himself.
By himself.
He directed it himself, he acted it
Okay.
himself, he edited it himself.
So he's going to watch it by
Yeah.
himself.
Yes.
Okay.
Today, we take a break from the usual review of cosplay items and we focus on a Facebook app called Marvel Avengers Alliance.
Yeah, I saw these kids in the internet cafe. They were playing these Marvel heroes, and it's kind of interesting. Could you please enlighten me with this game?
Yes, Marvel Avengers Alliance is a Facebook game designed by Playdom. It's a company owned by Disney, so they have the rights to all the characters that are Marvel.
Okay, so it's only available at Facebook?
Yes, you have to
Okay,
have a Facebook
okay.
account to play this game. It's a freemium game, which means that you can play it for free, but if you pay extra money, you will be able to gain certain advantages.
Okay, look, there's a video here.
Yes.
Look, there's some kind of aircraft carrier or something.
That's actually the Shield helicarrier.
Okay.
Yes, and that will be your base of operations for most of the
okay.
game. So if you take a look, basically you have a lot of the characters. In fact, some of them are not necessarily Avengers.
Okay.
Also, they're X-Men, they're
Okay.
Fantastic Four, and all these different characters. We have Spider-Man there.
So these Marvel heroes groups have combined together for this game?
Yes, but the basic storyline is you're a Shield agent,
Okay.
and then you recruit the different heroes into the Avengers.
Okay.
So you form your own team. So basically, you can recruit them and go on missions and think. Basically, the game on the helicarrier is very similar to a farming game, which means that you send them out on missions. Like if you take a look at this, you're sending them on remote operations, which means you send them out for like
Okay.
20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours,
So
6 hours. 12
Farmville
hours.
fans have no difficulty when
Yes,
playing
that
it.
part of the game you have no
Okay.
difficulty. But there's a lot more to add to the game. Basically, there are things. For instance, as you level your characters,
Okay.
you'll be able to get more rewards
Oh, okay.
from the remote ops. There's also basically a mission. So if you take a look at this, we're gonna take a look at the missions. They're divided
Okay.
into chapters. It's like a storyline.
So this is not just a game, but it also has some stories. Yeah.
Basically, it's a game where you play out missions and you
Okay.
go on adventures.
Okay.
So it's like an RPG.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you take a look at this, once you solve all those missions, they go from 1 to 5 stars. You also get a special reward if you finish all of them. You get something called an Excelsior weapon.
Okay.
So when you have an Excelsior weapon, as you level, it gets more powerful.
Now, one of my favorite characters in Marvel is Iron Man. So can I play as Iron Man in that game?
You can play as Iron Man. You can play as Thor. You
Oh,
can play
okay.
as any of the Avengers. Plus, you can also play as, for instance, Kitty Pryde,
Oh.
Shadowcat. You can play as Invisible Woman. You can play as Mr. Fantastic.
Oh,
You can play
okay.
as Thing. You can play as Hulk. So there's different variations.
Okay. Now I can play the hero, but can I play as the villain?
Right now, villains are not really something that you control.
Okay.
But you go up against a lot of villains. You have go up against the big ones like you go up against Doctor Doom.
Oh, yeah.
You go up against Doctor Octopus.
Oh.
You know, you go up against Magneto. So
those-
all those are included in the game.
powerful villains.
All the powerful villains and some of
okay.
the other villains that you might not know so much
Yeah.
about. Like this is Vapor, and there are other characters which you might not, you know, like you have Vulture, you have all these characters that.
Wait a minute. Yeah, in some video games, they have this secret character. Do they have this also secret
Yes,
characters?
yes,
Really?
they have something called for one thing, when you finish the mission, before you can finish the mission, you have to beat the boss.
Ah, okay.
So you have a mission boss, but they're also secret characters like you mentioned. They're called epic bosses.
Oh.
Epic bosses, you can only unlock them by recruiting certain characters and sending them on missions. Once you complete all the missions on the map, you can unlock the epic boss, and the epic boss has epic items that you can only get from them. Of course, if you take a look at this, once the reward is done, right, you'll get some silver, some XP for your characters. But if you take a look right here, see boss reward.
Wow.
Boss rewards, you'll get a kind of like a roulette. So you have random items that you can get that you can only get there.
Okay.
So it adds a certain amount of randomness to the game. There's like you have to play through the missions over and over again to try to collect those special items. So it adds some kind of replayability to the game. If you take a look here, this is also the team management window. You have 28 different superheroes that you can play with. So there's quite a bit. You know, you have everything from the Avengers, and if you take a look, see how they're changing their costumes.
Oh, so you can change the costume?
Yes, you can also
Okay.
buy certain uniforms, right? So there are different versions of them. There's like here, it's a heroic age Hawkeye compared to the regular Hawkeye. You have different Iron Man, you have different Captain America, you have the World War II Captain America.
Oh,
over there.
really?
Yeah, and they also have different stats, so they're different classes also.
Can you make a big head?
No.
But
Yeah, if you take a look, they have quite a bit of characters. So you can look through them, and plus there's also the possibility, and most likely they will add more characters to it. In addition, they also have ISO 8 system, which basically means as they get more powerful, the heroes, they get basically slots that you can put certain items into.
Okay.
So you can improve their stats by putting those items in there.
Oh.
Yes, and there are different kinds of items, and you can get them from missions also. You can buy them in the game.
So this is an easy game for me to.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty approachable. It's like chess, where there's some complexity into it. The deeper you get into it, it's kind of challenging because if you take a look at this, there's a lot of options. Like here, there are different weapons.
So you have weapons.
You have weapons that your agent uses.
Okay.
So he uses them in missions. And here, you also have different uniforms or different outfits that you can use, and then you can equip different items on the different
And
slots.
There's also a healing. What do you call it? Healing?
They have supplies, like
Okay.
you have things that will heal you, that will increase your stamina, so you don't get tired. You know, here
Wow.
and here you can also research items. So when you research items, it makes them available, so you can use them. So you can access different weapons, different items, different ISO. You know, so it's sort of a deep game. But don't worry, we'll do the thing. You know, when you start the game, the options are very, very small. But as you level up and get better, it's more. Here is the PvP. This is one of the few. PvP is player versus player. Okay, in this game, it's a little bit more of player versus AI with your characters.
Okay.
So basically, when you PvP with somebody, you don't really play with them, but play with their characters.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I can play against my computer or with another person.
You play against another person's account,
Okay.
but they don't control the characters directly. So you take a look at this. You can also put items into PvP bonuses, so you get extra bonuses when you're in combat. Like here, you can take a look. This is a PvP combat, so this is against another player, but that player is being controlled by the computer, or the program. But at the same time, those are the characters that he set up for PvP.
Okay.
So they set up which heroes they are.
Wow.
They set up which items they're using, everything. So that's how it is. So you can take a look at this. This is an interesting part of the game, the PvP, because here's where you have superheroes who are up against superheroes.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like- so here you have
Civil War?
Yeah, kind of like Civil War. Here you have Captain America and Iron Man's team versus the Hulk and War Machine. So it's interesting. You get to fight. See there, they basically blasted each other, and then when you win the battle, you get some small rewards. You get some XP, 5 XP and 50 silver. So it's quite small, but you can play it over and over again. Here you can play with other characters, and then when other players beat you, you'll be able to get revenge on them.
Okay.
And other like other Facebook games, allies are very important because allies you can basically go to their cities and you can basically receive awards, daily awards by visiting them, and you can basically harvest them and get more items for your character for the game.
Okay.
So it's a nice game. It's a little bit complicated, but I think it has a lot of depth. They keep on developing it, so right now there's only 6 chapters, but they're promising a 7th chapter soon. And it keeps on improving and getting better as time
with the
goes on.
Avengers movie coming, so I think this game will be a blast.
Yes, this is definitely one of the games that if you're a Marvel fan, you'll definitely want to play, just so that you can play your favorite Marvel characters. Yes. Well, true believers, that's it for the special Avengers episode of the Cosplay Show. Next week, we'll talk to Batman as Justice.ph takes center stage.
And we'd like to thank everyone in this production, including Jason Capel as the tech guy, marketing guy, Henry De Jos, and our producer, Zenith. Also, we'd like to thank Alice Cebu, John Magat, and Erwin Go. Thanks, guys. And of course, our special guest who graced our show, Miss Isabel Cortez.
The show is also looking for advertisers, so if you'd like to advertise with us or you'd like us to review one of your cosplay related products, please email us at hdidios@cosplay.ph. Again, that's hdidios@cosplay.ph. Again, this is Pablo Byron
And Guy Singson!
Enough said. Until next week, good night and keep cosplaying.
Excelsior!